Hollywood. Dan Geltrude says he's seen this before, hopes everything will go well for Jim Carrey, but of course he's making a statement about spending, isn't he, my friend?
Yes, he is, and it's something that we should all be paying attention to, especially those people in Washington. Look at what he said as to why he needs to go back to work, Neil. He said, I bought too much stuff. So even when you're making that kind of money, right, you can still spend more than you make. And if you do that for a long enough period of time, well, there's only one outcome. Now, he's fortunate enough, Neil, he's 62, so he's relatively young. He can go back to work and start making a lot of money again. The regular folks don't have that ability, so living within your means is extremely important.
You know, a lot of people, as they approach retirement, look at how much money they've saved, and some have invested well or have a good chunk of it, but they really never address the spending side of the equation. And I've always argued, I know you feel the same way, Dan, that no matter what you have, you can lose it fast if you just piss it away.
Yes, you can, Neil. So the most important thing in being an accountant, okay, it sounds familiar, you got to have a budget. You got to know what's coming in, and you got to be really, really careful about what's going out. And here's some of the disturbing factors out there. You know, 20% of the people in the United States that are 50 years old have absolutely no money set aside for retirement. So it's 20% of the people, Neil, who technically can't retire. So they think they can retire, they end up retiring, and you know what happens? They find out that Social Security is simply not enough. 6 out of 10 retirees, Neil, their only source of income is Social Security. So again, if you fail to plan for this, you're going to get exactly what you planned for.
So for a lot of people who are approaching that moment where they want to just take it easy, what is your advice for them? I mean, a lot of people pre-retirement, they don't change markedly post-retirement. They might have less expenses as far as getting into work and all that stuff. I get that. But beyond that, not markedly so.
Well, if you look at the real estate market, Neil, now may be a really great time to downsize, assuming you don't have a mortgage, right? So if you could sell at the top of the market, get something smaller, you don't have a mortgage, well, you're going to be able to have less expenses, number one, but two, you can start to create that nest egg. And when you have the nest egg, you got to guard it really careful. So we always go back to the same thing. It's all about the spending, Neil, but if you're really close to retirement, before you pull the trigger, maybe you should do a little bit of a write-up and see exactly where you stand before you make the leap.
You know what I think is a waste of time, though, Dan? I don't know, maybe when they say, well, you don't need 2 lattes a day or you don't need to go to Starbucks. I mean, that's kind of nickel and diming your way here when it's the big things I think that a lot of people miss. But give folks some advice on that part of it.
Well, it all adds up, Neil, right? Yeah. So it comes down to you got to live within your means. Credit card debt at record highs right now. So people are always thinking, oh, you know what, I'll put it on the credit card. No, don't do that. Only spend what you have the cash for. You know, that's a way to kind of keep yourself within those bumpers so you don't end up in the gutter, right? So the other thing is there's a lot of professionals that can provide you with guidance. Use them. That's what they're there for. The money you spend on a professional that gives you good advice is going to be money that you save in the long run.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I mean, I've always, maybe because my parents were a product of the Depression, I've had drilled into my head, live on half of what you make. So as long as I've been working, I've been living on half of what I make. Maybe because I'm paranoid.
And that's still a lot, Neil.
Yeah, oh, I wish. You're the best, Dan. Thank you very much. Have a Merry Christmas, my friend, if we don't chat again. Dan Geltrude, an uncanny read again of all things money in. You know, that's what it is. It's money in, money out. It's so simple. We'll have more to this.